All right. So, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racey, and I'm going to be giving the messages today. These messages were paid for in advance. So, if you did get one and you have your secret code name, you know which one is for you. This reading is personal for you. For those of you who did not get a secret code name, but you are drawn to one of them, like you resonate to one of them stands out to you when I say it, there's probably a message in there for you pertaining to some area of your life, right? For those of you not familiar with me or the channel, I have no filter and I do not sugarcoat my messages. So if that is not your thing, or you have children around, or you just don't appreciate that kind of a message, I'm always very respectful of that, and I'm giving you the opportunity to sign off now. Otherwise, we will be getting into the Soul's Roar readings for this new moon in Leo. It's huge energy. If you catch the intro to part one, I go into just a little bit about the astrology behind the energy of today, right? So, secret code names that are in part one are the Venue, Cannonball, Emerald Light, White Lotus, Blue Oyster, and Oriental Lily. Those are part one's code names. The timestamps will be in the description once it's done loading on my end, okay? For this part two, the secret code names we're going to be doing are Hellhound's Light, The Looking Glass, Yin Magic, Minnie Mouse, The Journey, and Four-Leaf Clovers. Okay, those are the 6 code names in this part of the event. The first 6 are already done in part 1. We're going to be doing Hellhound's Light, The Looking Glass, Yin Magic, Minnie Mouse, The Journey, and Four-Leaf Clovers. I'm using my 13 tarot. Okay, I don't know who the actual author of the deck is, like the maker of the deck doesn't have it anywhere on the box at all. But I'm sure you could look it up. But this is about transformation, right? The 13th card in tarot is death, and it's all about transformation. And what we're going to be going over in the readings today is what it is that you have conquered, right? What you have completed, what is in your past now that your soul is roaring with its manifestation forward. Okay, so that's what we're going to be getting into with these messages. And then I have my Journey of Love cards that I'm going to be pulling from for you, and my Sacred Rebel Oracle. Both of those are by Alana Fairchild, as like guidance and extra intuitive messages for you. The only secret code name that I pulled 2 different decks for, because I do some guided, right, is Four-Leaf Clovers. I'm going to have 2 different decks for the last reading. All right, so getting into it. Hellhound's Light, 3:23 on the timer. Hellhound's Light. All right. So, secret code name Hellhound's Light, and those who resonate to or are drawn to this message in divine time, what has the soul conquered? What lessons been learned so that it need not repeat, right? What have you conquered in your karma that your soul is roaring forward with Hellhound's Light? Mind the mythology and lore behind hellhounds, because there's definitely a light aspect to their characters. All right, so we start with the Emperor in reverse. We had a lot of reversals come up. I keep all my cards in the upright in my deck, so if they fall in reverse, I leave them that way. We had a lot of reversals in part 1. What else, Spirit? What else? Secret code name Hellhound's Light, and those who would resonate to it. What have they conquered? Oh yeah. Is there more? Bottom of the deck. Done. All right. Here we go. So we've got the Emperor in the reverse with the Hermit, the King of Cups reversed, the Ace of Cups, the World, and the Seven of Pentacles. I think with these cards, the pattern that I'm getting, that you've conquered. The Emperor in reverse isn't making your highest good choices, right? The Emperor in reverse, instead of making choices that better their experience, actually create a detriment to the experience and put you in hermit mode, where with the King of Cups in the reverse, you're either used to being an emotional mess after, and or you completely bottle shut, if not both, right? You might be a complete emotional mess underneath the surface or in the privacy of your own being, but not necessarily show that to anybody else. I think that when you make these, or when you have, right, because this is past, this is what you've conquered in the past, when you've made these choices against your integrity, right, your soul's integrity, because, you know, you feel a connection with someone, whether it's romantic or otherwise, there's an inherent connection that you have, that you understand the stepping process in a relationship with you, a dynamic with you, that would better them in their life's experience. However, when you do that and you put your Ace of Cups out there and you offer the world, what you get is no results, okay? This was the outcome. You put all this effort in, especially if you've closed off before, to reopen yourself in trust of another, right? Romantic or otherwise, you know, because it could definitely be dealing with friends or family too, like especially friends, like if you've been burned by friends in the past, you know what I mean, where you show up for them, you're always there for them, you're always supportive of them, and then when it comes time for them to step up and show up for you, it's like, well, where the fuck are they at? You know what I mean? Where the fuck are they at? Where's the result? I've put in all this love, you know what I mean? Like, I kept to myself and even my own space, and did whatever I needed to do to help them and be there to support them. Have all this love to give, all this overflow, and it's almost like, you know, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before the universe comes in and says, do you want to play that violin? You want to break out your violin? You did it again. You made choices that weren't in alignment with you, and you knew better. You knew when you should have been alone and made choices not to be alone, you know, because you know you should have been alone because you probably still had emotional healing to do. But neglecting to do the emotional maturing and jumping into a relationship almost trying to calm the emotions externally instead of internally is what causes you the biggest problem, or caused you the biggest problem. I know that's going to resonate with you how it's meant to. But, you know, and this goes to the code name. Like, if you think, like I said, if you think about the lore behind the Hellhounds guard the gates, right? They guard the gates of the underworld. And you do not enter unless they say, and you do not exit unless they say. No one exits the underworld, you know what I mean? Getting past the Hellhounds, you don't exit. And it's like when someone's dead to you, they have to be dead to you. You know, you can't, there, you know, and dogs being loyalty and hellhounds being like of a fierceness, there's there is a definitive line between what is living for you and what is life feeling dead inside, right? There's a fine line, but a very solid one, between people that improve your experience and people that drag your experience down, right? It's almost like they're the death of you while living. You feel dead or alone while living. And so it's almost like needing to categorize these two groups of souls that cross your path. They're either going to drain you and make you feel like you're dead while living, or they're going to promote your life experience and help you thrive and help you create more moments of authenticity, right? It's either going to kill the self or cause the self to rise. You have to be able to discern which is which, and you will be able to discern which is which because your own emotional stability with the King of Cups in the reverse, if that's over, it's going to be flipping itself into the upright, which is emotional maturity. Knowing that it's okay to give and give unconditionally to anyone at any time, but with no expectation of any void filling in return, because you being able to give whenever you want to give and not be emotionally upset or feel taken for granted later or underappreciated later, or that it wasn't reciprocated, doesn't matter, right? The universe is going to bless you and return your energy to you no matter what. Because if you're helping someone in a moment for any reason, or you're providing your love or support in any form to anybody for any reason, that you would extend a part of your own energetic creation to anybody, just to be able to do it and watch your ripple. Because this is not about I feel your voids, you feel mine thing, right? That's getting out of codependency. You're becoming aware of who is a detriment to you and who's not. And knowing how to discern that quickly and not necessarily give second chances. Like, I'm sorry, you already showed me your value. I'm sorry, you already showed me your worth. What I have to sacrifice in order to keep you in my reality, or to help keep you stable, to my own detriment. I already know how your energy reacts to mine, and I didn't like it. And unless you're aware, and unless you're self-healing, and unless you're on the journey and the path to self-discovery and healing your wounds so that your pain doesn't ripple to other people, like, unless you're on that path, I already know how my energy interacts with yours, right? I already know what happens. I already know it yields no results. I already know I shouldn't have gotten involved because emotionally I wasn't ready. How could you offer the Ace of Cups and overflow in a world, giving someone your whole world when your internal world isn't necessarily stable? When certain things need to be voiced, being comfortable in vulnerability and expressing yourself. What do we got? The Lovers. Card number 57. Let me read some for you. I don't know if I've ever pulled this card. And it's on page 131. Here we go. It says, yes, it's love. It drives you forward and pulls you back to your heart. It makes the mind mad with misunderstandings and breaks it open into enlightened compassion. It is love. Your yearning heart shall have it. Your destiny is to be the lover of the beloved. This oracle brings a message of love, love, love. It is finding you now. Be open to it in all its forms. Be the god and goddess of love and paint the town red. Play in passionate embrace with life as your lover and prepare to receive even more than what you believe you are capable of handling. The poem at that bottom says, "Love is a magic word that holds the universe together. It is both an emotion and something ephemeral that lives like a fire's glow, or the pink light on the clouds after the sun has set. It is alive and yet indefinable. It causes the heart to beat more rapidly, feelings to show, and young people to write, sing, dance, and become totally immersed in its hold. Love can beckon coyly or flaunt itself with wanton abandon. Love can live and grow seemingly forever, or vanish in a fleeting moment when we least suspect. And in the twilight of our years, reflecting on the life we have lived, it is love which colors every turn and twist of our memory. And when we pass from this earthly plane, it will be love that will light your soul on its journey home." Love is everything that we live for. No love we have ever given is wasted. None. None. No matter how many times you've closed off and became a mess and opened back up and offered the world, that's your gift. That's your gift. You've given it unconditionally. Unconditionally, knowing it was against your highest good, but it was in the highest good of someone else, and the universe did not miss your choice. The universe did not miss witnessing your choice to use the loving energy that you have to give to someone else in need, even if it was to your own detriment. That's how big your heart is. It's huge. It's got nothing but love in here. And for all the results you never got, please trust that whoever is coming into your experience now that this is over is going to be monumental in your life to return the favor that you've given the collective in your own ripple over time. Okay. What else, Spirit? My Sacred Rebel Oracle. For secret code name, Hellhound's Light, and those who would resonate to it. Yeah. The Sacred Fool. You are the puppet master. You decide how you want to move, when you want to move, for what purpose. Is it for your pleasure or the entertainment of others? You choose. Are you practicing or is it the big show? You get to decide in this journey, the Sacred Fool, however you want to create the show, your life. If you were to replay it back like a very long movie, how would you write the happy end? Because that's what the Sacred Fool is about. How do you want to write it? How do you want to write the rest? We know the character build. We have the backstory. We have the plot. The healing of the big broken heart. We have the plot. All we need to do is to write how it all comes together in the end. How it all worked out in the end. How the Sacred Fool became the hero of their life and experience, right? You get to choose where your new beginning starts, and you get to choose how it ends. You get to choose. You're going to make your highest good choices now. The Emperor in reverse days are done. Your hermit mode days where you feel alone, even in relationships or dynamics, is done. Where you feel like you don't matter, it's done. You're going to meet someone who knows what the fuck you've been through, and they're going to be there for you to give you everything that you always deserve to have in someone. That's coming in for you with this energy, this huge rewrite, right, with this cosmic energy. So I hope that helps, because that's an excellent new place to start. Getting over that hurdle, right? Getting over that lesson. Getting out of that karma. Knowing you're not going to go back there, right? You ain't going back to that old version of self that got hurt doing all that shit. No. No. You're smarter and you're wiser and you're more emotionally mature now. Having gone through all of those experiences, you know what works and what doesn't. You know who's worthy and who isn't. And that beautiful, caring heart of yours is perfectly fine for the person who deserves it and reciprocates it. There's no reason to lock that part of you away forever. It's just now you know who deserves it and who doesn't. Who drains you and who doesn't. Your gut lets you know it's a waste of fucking time. It's gonna be. When you're rooting on someone's potential, that's a harsh, long process. They'll reach it eventually. We all do. We all do. Yeah, 3 of Wands. We all, and 6 of Cups. We all have that journey, that sacred soul connection that we have with people in this life to help us get to where we need to be. We really do. All right. Next code name, the Looking Glass. 2227 was the time. All right. Secret code name, the Looking Glass. Spirit, please, for the Looking Glass and those who would resonate to this code name, that they would find it in divine time via their resonation. What is it that their soul is roaring forward to manifest? What have they conquered? What have they overcame that their soul is roaring forward? Oh, you're learning how to speak up. Oh, you learned how to speak your truth. You were going through a hard lesson where you were learning how to speak your truth. To let the shit fly, to let the swords fly. Dealing with people trying to get over on you or confuse you. Got the Hanged Man with the Knight of Swords, the Magician, and the 8 of Swords. With the 4 of Cups and the Knight of Wands. Fuck boys. That's all the status they're worthy of. All right. Immature, reckless energy, right? That misses opportunities. It's like fuck boys. Doesn't have to be a fuck boy, but you know exactly what I mean. People that are immature and reckless with their decisions and miss opportunities. They fuck that shit up. People stagnant people that keep you stuck in your own mind. And you don't know how to tell them that you know, sense, feel like they're not being completely clear with you, or that they have a motive, like there's always a reason behind what they're saying, how they're saying it, what they're leaving out. And you just want the fucking truth, right? You're always left looking for the truth. And I think what you're looking for within yourself, what you've moved forward from, is that you're no longer recklessly choosing to miss opportunities, because the truth is you're dealing with some people who just have fucking motives that aren't in alignment with your highest good. They just don't hold your best interest at heart. Yeah, they're fucking petty, immature, Knave of Sword energies. It's like arguing with a fucking child. It might even be, I mean, you could literally be dealing with a child who's constantly lying, like doing something and getting in trouble and then denying it, or making up fabricated tales in order to get some, you know, reaction, elicit some reaction of, you know, whatever it is that they're searching for validation in the outer. But the Page of Swords, this Knave of Swords, can also be someone who's argumentative and trying to stick it to you. It's almost like they're trying to convince you you cut yourself with your own knife, when they put it in a position where you would have to maybe like react to grab it. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, did you cut yourself with your sword? It's like, what? No, I didn't cut myself with the truth. Like, no, it's not. You know what I mean? It's almost like someone made you feel like your truth was a lie, right? And this is what you're getting over. The truth you sense, or the truth you know, so it's almost like people were trying to convince you that you were wrong, or convince you you're not seeing it right, or convince you that you're crazy for believing in something else. I think you're realizing that if anything that you were guilty of being crazy about, it was believing that, or wanting to believe that these manipulative people trying to create their own voids being filled is something that you need to move away from. The Eight of Cups flew right on it. Literally right on top of it. You need to emotionally move away from these manipulative dark magician energies. This is someone with hidden motives, and you just need to move away from that, right? Anybody could talk a good game or confuse you, but you gotta trust your sensing. You gotta trust your truth, and it doesn't matter if you have fucking proof or not. It doesn't even fucking matter. You just trust yourself and let them fucking deal with the fact that you know the truth, and that you ain't fucking budging on your intuition either. 'Cause you fucking know. You know. I think you've just been dealing with low energies, and that's over. So your soul is roaring back from this with a shifted perspective and the ability to communicate and say whatever the fuck you need to say to these people. Whoever they are, these self-interested people that would recklessly throw the chances and understanding and compassion you hold for them away because they're fucking like, they're like a fucking child in their energy, in their healing process. Like, they haven't even, like, we're talking like baby, like they haven't opened their eyes yet. You know what I mean? When it comes to themselves and what they do and the choices they make and their vibration, like they have no fucking clue. And that's over. I think you are hardcore in your truth. I think because you're not going to allow yourself to miss emotional stability within and the reinvention of your own self. Even if that means you have to break your mind and start over, right? With an innocent mind. you would have to, this is what Spirit's saying, you would have to start over from here with an innocent mind, in that you don't know dark energies in the world exist until they exist, right? But they already exist, you know they exist. So it's like going back to a place in your mind where ignorance is bliss and not everybody's the same. Like, now that you've learned this lesson, it need not repeat. So you're not going to be attracting the same kind of people, because you're now in a space of truth and transparency within your own intuitive knowing, and you're not letting people make you second guess yourself or confuse you or make you feel crazy or say, well, what proof do you have? Well, I never blah, blah, blah. Listen. Listen. Don't tell me I fucking need proof. If you got to tell me I need fucking proof, you can hit the fucking door. You can hit the door. You don't need a reason. And I think it's just a matter of being able not just to accept the harsh truth that sometimes you might have to bring down the harsh hammer, on somebody else if they need a reality check on what the fuck is going on, right? But I feel as if you're going to be manifesting people that are of growing mind, right? Because I don't think you're stagnating anymore. So, Spirit, please. Spirit, please. What card above all other cards? For secret code name, the Looking Glass. Loving all that is. Master number 22. With Heart Fire, card number 1, and Eruption of Light, card number 11. 22, 1, and 11. Which is kind of awesome, considering, we do have an Ace down here and the Magician down here and the Hanged Man, which is 1s and 2s. So synchronicities, right? Look out for 1s and 2s. You're going through an initiation from a place of balance within, right? Having to balance the head space and the heart space, having them both check off on it. I shared a live that on Facebook that was in my memories, and it talked about just this. When you are in alignment, your head checks off and says, yup, that makes sense. That makes sense. The outcome looks good. The projected outcome looks good. Mind checks off on it. Heart says, yup, feels good. It resonates. Nothing's pinging me, telling me no, danger, dread. Like, nothing's pinging off in my heart. Even if I'm a little afraid, there's no danger, right? So I can override fear. Because I trust it, right? I trust this person, or I trust what's happening, right? I trust the path in front of me as it's unfolding. So your mind and your heart are both checking off on it, and that creates a new balanced beginning, 1 and 2. That creates a new balanced beginning when your head and your heart are working in alignment as one. Because if the heart's not checking off on it, even though it looks great on paper, the mind says it looks great, makes sense, but the heart's like, I don't know though. Something doesn't feel like, fuck yeah. Something's holding me back, like, fuck, maybe wait. Right? Then it's not the right path. They're not in agreement. If your heart says, yes, absolutely, it feels great, it feels right, I trust it, no matter what, it's just my soul's resonating, but your mind is like, yeah, but this is the reality. Reality doesn't look like it would unfold well at this time, which just means it's the wrong time. Your head and your heart aren't in alignment. Your gut's not wrong, but the fact of the matter is something's not ready. Right? So as long as you're in this balanced choice-making energy, you will continue to evolve and initiate into self-mastery. Huge. The eruption of light, that's when you delve into that. Loving all there is, loving all your experiences. How would you teach you if you were the universe, right? How would you teach you if you were the universe how to love yourself better? how to get back to your wholeness, how to get your head and your heart checking off on things to make sure that you're diligent about it, right? Persistent, consistent, doing it. How would the universe teach you to balance your head and your heart space if you were the stubborn soul that you are? It's been trying to help you heal certain things for lifetimes, right? So it's like, okay, how do I teach this person how to co-create? How do I get this soul to work with me? I got to get them in alignment with their soul fire and light that shit the fuck up. I got to get them back in touch with their heart fire and light their soul up. Getting back in touch with your heart, needing to understand what resonates and what doesn't, and that timing is divine. Timing is divine. You can feel right in your heart, but if you know in your head it's not the right time, you will suffer trying to make it the right time. If in your mind it looks great, it makes sense, but your heart's not resonating, you will drive yourself fucking crazy trying to get your heart to resonate when it doesn't. You will hurt yourself and someone else. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you name it. Financially, you or someone else will end up getting hurt because your heart's not in it. You can't force it to be, right? So, this kind of energy, you moving into your light, you seeing your path and sticking to it, listening clearly, only if they both agree. If they both don't agree, 99% is not 100. And that has to be so clear in your mind that you will not fail, right? That you will not fail. You will trust your resonation. You will trust your truth. You will trust the way you resonate and what needs to be said and how you need to shine, when you need to fucking shine. Yeah. What do you feel? It's not about apples and oranges and comparing your life to somebody else's or who you are to who somebody else is. This is about life. This is about the world. What do you feel? It doesn't matter what makes someone else happy. Are you happy? Just because someone else would be happy with what you have or what you're doing or who you're with doesn't mean that you are, and vice versa. Just because you're super fucking happy and anybody would be happy in your position doesn't mean that someone else is. Doesn't mean that just because you want something, somebody else wants the same thing. It's all life. And you can't compare one life to another. You can't compare one path to another, one person's healing to another. Like you were learning. And now your soul is roaring out with the fact that how you feel matters. Your truth matters. If you're confused and you don't fucking like it because you have a feeling someone's fucking with you, you don't like it, yo, listen to your heart, master that shit. Master that shit. Talk about number ones, throw a middle finger in the air. Shit, throw two. Listen, you know what I mean? If someone doesn't give a fuck how you feel, that they would try and confuse you and psychically manipulate you, not giving a fuck about how that's going to affect you years from now, fuck them. Fuck them. What a waste of fucking time and energy, right? Leaves you stuck. Not anymore. Not anymore. This hanged man, their heart is back in their chest. This is a queen who looks like she was decaying and is coming back with a live heart. You fucking see how people are the death of you. And how you not speaking your truth about it allows it to persist. So that's ending, right? That cycle's ending. So I hope that helps, because where you're going, you're going to be in a totally new frame of mind. Like I said, go back to that innocent mind. Go back to the innocent mind. You're going to find your most peace there, because if you let these toxic people damage you to the point that people that wouldn't hurt you or treat you that way can't get into your energetic space and help you and be a positive influence and a positive empowerment in your life. You can't give these darker energies that kind of power over your future when they're just a part of your past now. Right? Yeah, get yourself out of the mental prisons. Eight of Swords and the Devil, you'll just trap yourself there. You'll just be bound there, and they're not worth it. You don't want to be locked in their energy and mental prisons, thinking that everybody's trying to fuck you, everybody has a motive, you know, everybody's trying to get one over on you. It's not a positive mind state, you know, if that's the mind frame that you're in, you know, like attracts like, and that's what you'll manifest. So believe that there are good people out there, and you're gonna run into them, and you're not gonna deal, you know, you're not gonna have these people manipulating you and stuff like that. Stay away from like shadow Gemini energy. Well, I'm not saying Geminis in general, but if someone had really strong like shadow Gemini in their chart, or if they had like a Gemini sun and they were just in a very unhealed space, it's like shadow Gemini energy. Eight of Swords, right? So with that said, we are moving forward to the next code name, Yin Magic, at 4055. Timestamp 4055. All right, Yin Magic. Secret code name Yin Magic, and those who would resonate with this message in divine time. Spirit, please, what have they conquered? What have they overcome that their soul is roaring forward with their manifestation? What have they conquered in their karma? Secret code name Yin Magic. What have they conquered in their karma? Nine of Wands, Three of Wands, Knight of Cups, reversed. What else? The Knight of Wands with the Ten of Swords. I feel like there's more. What have they conquered, Spirit, please? Soul name, secret code name, Yin Magic. Okay. All right, listen, I got a lot going on. I got a lot of cards that ended up coming out. Let's see. So I'm going to read this in pieces. First, we have the Nine of Wands with the Three of Wands and the Knight of Cups in the reverse. I think what you're getting over is being on your last leg with people who are not moving with you emotionally, right? That they're not speaking about or talking about or allowing themselves to connect vulnerably with their emotions for you, right? Moving away from or being over emotionally unavailable people, right? People that do not allow themselves to express how they feel. Three of Wands energy with the Nine of Wands energy. I think you're tired of having to move forward to the next horizon, right? Tired of moving forward to the next possibility or opportunity. I think you're over it. I think you're over people not willing to take a journey with you, right? The life journey. With the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Swords with the Six of Wands, I think that these young, immature, or reckless energies that don't actually pay mind to how their choices affect your mind, not realizing that their own self-betrayal, you would end up betraying yourself in your own mind, right? And needing to come out and be victorious from it, knowing that you are with a spiritual energy, you know, a soul that is not of the awareness that their actions, words, and choices have repercussions that go beyond a conversation, right? Because for them, it's like they hang up the phone and the conversation's over. But for you, the things that they say or it lingers and it means something to you. And it's needing to remember, it's needing to remember that the self-betrayal isn't necessarily yours. It's that you're dealing with a young soul that doesn't understand their own power. And they don't understand their own self-sabotaging thoughts, their self-sabotaging beliefs that people or life would not work out for them. And they're upset or depressed, because the Ten of Swords, to me, can also be a very depressed mental state that, you know, they need to come out of, right? Which it could definitely put you in there, not being spiritually mature yourself. It could have put you in a place where you were definitely mentally self-sabotaging and needing to come back out of it victorious, okay? So this is also ending, right? These are things that are ending that you've conquered. So you've conquered feeling like you need to wait and or move forward away from people that are not ready, right? Take that how it resonates. You've also spiritually chose to elevate into a place of success away from self-sabotaging beliefs, right, within the self. Now we have the Lovers with the Three of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles, and they're clarified by the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. What you're also moving past, I think, is choosing heartbreak with something that would never yield results in the state that it's in. Because the communication's not quite up to par with the Knight of Swords. Someone's quiet. Oh, I just got that. It's like, because it looks like there's literally like metal across her mouth. And it's a Knight of Swords, so it is about communication, but in this deck, I feel it's almost like being silent, right? Choosing lovers that are silent. Choosing lovers that are silent when it comes to how they feel, when it comes to their truth, that they would rather be in heartbreak energy than voice their truth, which is mirroring back to you, right? Would rather be in heartbreak energy than being in the truth that is just not fucking yielding results. And if you're gonna move forward, you don't want Seven of Pentacles, you want Ace of Cups. You don't want no results, you want a fucking overflow. You want that. It's time, right? It's time. You deserve to have someone who is emotionally available and ready and willing, because you're going to be constantly conflicted within over people who are all mental or all of the mind, doing what's logical, and they're not listening to their heart space. With the Five of Wands and the King of Swords also coming out. And I think with the Five of Wands and the King of Swords, this is also understanding that when you're internally conflicted about something, it's because you need to see the higher perspective behind something. Looking back in hindsight, you got to be grateful for something in the experience. If you can't find gratitude for what causes you internal conflict when you reflect on it, you need to ask yourself, how important is it that you stay stuck in heartbreak energy and not listen to the truth that everything happens for a reason? That there's a reason why you're choosing emotionally closed off people, and it's because you've closed off from your own heart space and listening to your resonation. That you betrayed yourself somewhere along the way, being reckless when you were looking for victory. Right? You were looking for victory, but you weren't spiritually necessarily mature for victory yet, with the Knight of Wands and the Six of Wands and the Ten of Swords. You know, not being in your own king energy and manifesting what you want to manifest, staying focused and committed to your own individual path. I think it's led you astray in the past. And so now this is about razor sharp focus, right? Razor sharp focus on yourself and what is not acceptable, right? If someone's not going to answer, they're going to ghost, or they're going to block, or whatever the fuck they do, they got to deal with their own shit. That's not your cross to bear, and you can't be in mental prisons or sabotage yourself because someone's going through their healing, right? Because that's what you're used to attracting: emotionally unavailable people who are detached, and it causes internal conflict, and so your heart is roaring back from that. Right, roaring back from that. That's done. That cycle, this whole cycle is done. It's over. So Spirit, what card above all other cards? I'm taking this one. Yeah, the spaces between worlds. Card number 24. Here we go. The spaces between worlds. When we look for guidance, we often look for words that clarify, reassure, and help us find our authentic path through the chaos. Yet there is also guidance in the spaces between the words. Ooh, I said between the worlds? It's between the words. Spaces between the words, between each letter, between all the happenings in our lives where there is nothing to be said, where there are no lines to be colored in, where there is just openness. Those are the times where we need to freestyle with life. We need to do or not do based on what is happening for us right in the moment. Often there is far less to do than we think. Often, we don't need to think. There is a space forming around you now. Sometimes when we sense this subconsciously, we feel exhilarated and excited, anxious and nervous, and not even sure why. There is a sense, perhaps, that we wouldn't mind having a map of this unknown terrain. Or perhaps we are happy to wing it and make it up as we go. Either way, there is space to just be. It is a receiver for the divine presence. If you have a lot of space of unknowing around you now or within you, then just know that there is a lot of divine presence to be received. It can't be explained really. It happens between the words, and yet without it, there wouldn't be any words, any guidance at all. This oracle speaks to you to enter the space and let go, for your time to receive is upon you. Be blessed. And then the poem is called Daybirth, and it says, the eastern rise of time on newborn wings bursts out across the lifeless crowd and sings its climb to heights unknown, of beauty, warmth, and power upon its throne, to fade again in western sky, and only for a moment lie, before it takes its course again, to breathe once more in heart of man. There's a space between the words. So, these silences, right, where I was talking about either getting cut off, not being able to communicate, not feeling like you should be ghosted, right? All of this stuff, this no communication, where there's space between words is the healing. What you do in between communications, when you're in spaces of non-communication, it's freestyle with life. Go with the flow. Moment to moment. See where the wind takes you. This is what you get to do between the communications, between the words. It's your time to freestyle. So that this silence can mend, right, in time. You're going to learn the truth behind all the heartbreak and hindsight. You know, behind all the pain and the conflict and all that inner stuff. You're going to understand why all that, and this space between, this divine pause, right, for the healing is so important. Yeah, inspiration. Card number 3. I love this card. This card is all about the sweetness of life, the creation energy, that you can birth whatever experience you want. All you need to do is let something inspire you. As long as you're inspired and you're creating and you're moving and you have this spiritual momentum of high vibe and you're just letting the light shine on you and you're creating universes, you know what I mean? With all this life and beauty to them, your ripple, your beautiful light ripple, that wave that you get to leave behind in your wake. So, you know, you're the queen bee. You see the bees on the card. You're free like them. You do what you do every day because life is sweet. It's about life being sweet. And so you're allowed to create that any way you want. Let the divine inspire you, because that yellow light above the crown chakra, that's spirit guiding you to be authentic. And live in the moment, right? Living in the moment. Fearless energy. Solar plexus is fearless in the self energy. So I hope that helps. That was secret code name Yin Magic, right? It's your time to receive. The experience of life is your time to receive. It is not your time to do for others. It is time to let the universe do for you. Time to let the universe do for you. Let me get these up, make sure they're all right side up. I'm gonna put them back in. Okay. Let me give these a real good shuffle before I get into secret code name Minnie Mouse 5711. Timestamp 57 minutes, 11 seconds for Minnie Mouse. All right, so secret code name Minnie Mouse, and those who would resonate to it or be drawn to it in divine time to receive it whenever they need it. This reading is going to help you understand what you have conquered in your soul, what you have overcome in your karma, what you have learned in your lessons so that they never repeat, right? What you have learned beyond a doubt. What have you conquered? Secret code name Minnie Mouse, and those who are drawn to it. And those who are drawn to it. Secret code name Minnie Mouse. All right, Spirit. What have they conquered? What have they overcome? What is now part of their past that their soul is roaring forward with its new manifestation? What have they conquered? You're not jumping out the pan and into the fire anymore. You know there's a better way. I think at some point you might have made a choice to move forward and realize that it was way too much to handle. Way too much spiritual or energetic burden on you than you were prepared for, and I think you kind of knew it or sensed it, you just couldn't pinpoint it, and I think that's the pattern, right? Moving forward and with something or towards something, because it's almost like making the choice to move forward in order to solve a problem, right? Or solve a dilemma, or solve something, you know, even if it's a void, right, to try and fill it temporarily, but you already knew, right? You already had a feeling or a sensing it was not going to line up. And we got the Knave of Wands in the reverse, which I just heard life force draining. Like you can't can't spark from there. You can't grow from there. It's like feeling tuned out from yourself. Feeling tuned out from yourself because there's just too much spiritual or energetic burden being put on you from the other people in your environment. I think you just might be really highly empathic and naturally move into a space where you move forward to help someone and not realizing it's because you understand their burdens and feel like you can lift them. And likewise, they might come to you with the intention of knowing your burdens and wanting to lift them. However, I think you both know that if you're both moving into something with voids and expecting the other to fill it, that it's a recipe for long-term disaster, right? It always ends up short-term. And I think you're leaving that behind. Yeah, Nine of Swords is the nightmare mental state, giving yourself anxiety and needing to transform that confusion and despair into a solid foundation where you're single and on your own. Because we got the Nine of Swords with the Death card, the Seven of Cups, the Five of Cups with the Ace of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles, creating 10 Pentacles at the end. You make your dream, whether it is solid on your own, single, or in a relationship, no matter what, the dream manifests when you offer yourself the solid foundation despite other people, or the wanting to rescue other people, or the fact that other people might want to quote unquote rescue you and you don't actually feel like you need to be rescued, nor do you want to. It's like not wanting pity, but yet you would pity someone else, right? And so Spirit's like, no, no. No, no. We don't pity other people to our detriment, just like we can't allow them to pity us to their detriment. We would never allow it. Yeah, standing in the power, right? Emperor, making your highest good choices, knowing that you're in your power, that you're able to protect yourself and your creation by understanding your power on your own, that you're the executive shot caller in your life, right? Yeah. So, what is the advice, right? This is secret code named Minnie Mouse. This is secret code named Minnie Mouse. Spirit, please, what card above all other cards would you give them as guidance with this energy moving forward, that their soul is roaring with new manifestation energy, that they've completed this? Oh, that's too many. That's like way too many. What card above all others, Spirit? For real, for real? Same cards flew out. 3 of them anyway. 3 of the 4. All right, so listen. When it's meant to fucking happen, it's meant to happen. We got 25, 45, and 52. So 2s and 5s and maybe even 7s and 9s. See how those synchronicities line up when you start seeing those numbers and patterns. All right, Seed of the Heart. Seed of the Heart is knowing that even if you loved someone and wanted the best for someone, like that you would have pity for them or sympathize with them or empathize with them in their situation or what they've been through. If they weren't receptive, right, that you ended up overburdening yourself, it was just too much for you to handle, like you thought you could handle it and realized you couldn't, it's just too much. There was a reason why you crossed their path and they crossed yours, and it was to plant a seed that would grow and break surface for you to understand later, right? When whoever planted that seed in you that you were worth it, or whatever seed you planted in somebody else that they were worth it, right? That even against your inner knowing that you would want to help them in some way, right? Even if it puts you in a nightmare state where you had to completely transform, and or vice versa, the actual seed of healing that was planted from the heart space between the two of you was what was valuable, right? In the experience, that's where the hidden beauty lies, right? In the past experiences, knowing that you're capable of great love and there is great love to be received. There's hidden lessons in everything. Little seeds from the universe. The ancient ones. I'm going to actually read that one from the book for you, because when our ancestors come into the picture, I know that something will ping you however it's meant to ping you. So let's read the ancient ones. Here we go. Card number 52. This is huge momentum and shift into balance in order to create divine miracle, right? Numerology. Your spiritual growth is now acknowledged and witnessed by the heavenly ones that see beyond time and space into the reality of your soul. Do not lose heart if your spirituality is not fully acknowledged, understood, or appreciated by those around you in the physical world as yet. Though they may love you, it is most likely that their vision is still bound by time and space, and they cannot see into the very real gains that you have made in the subtle worlds where all true spiritual growth begins. So the ancient ones reach out to you and bring you this message. We see you, beloved. We honor your growth. It is real. It is palpable, and soon it will manifest fully in the physical world with breathtaking beauty. We honor your light. Namaste. From the souls of ancient ones to yours. This oracle brings guidance that you have taken a leap in personal growth. If you are still testing it in the physical world, trying to translate your inner changes into your outer experiences, take heed. It's only a matter of time before you see reflected back to you in your physical world what you have become within. What you have become within. You will see it mirrored back to you in the eyes of those around you in sacred relationship too. And the poem says, here's wishing you some sunshine the day after the rain. Here's a hug of understanding when life seems filled with pain. Here's knowing that emotion, like wind, blows many ways, and our course will seem more certain with the dawn of each new day. Universe sees. Universe sees. And it honors you, and it's going to return it to you. Whatever it is that you've put out, it's coming back your way. So make sure that when it does, you are just super grateful and ready to receive, and just thank the universe for showing it up. Thank Spirit for manifesting it, that you were able to co-create and use your vibe and your faith and your trust and your heart of gold to just move you forward until it was finally just your divine time. Your divine time to receive. There's hidden beauty in all of the lessons. Nothing is ever wasted. No lesson ever goes missed. Everything is divinely perfect for a reason, even if we don't understand it. All right, Spirit. Give me one more card for secret code name, Minnie Mouse. Yeah, focus on the light. Focus on the light. Focus on your shine. Focus on your shine. Like if you've always known when you were jumping out the pan and into the fire, if You always knew it was going to be a nightmare somewhere along the line, and you didn't understand, you know, why you could give and consider and end up, you know, having to reestablish yourself, you know, coming out of confusion and despair and loss. Not understanding why it didn't work out, why they didn't return the same thing that you were offering or giving them. Card number 37. Yeah, focus on your light. Focus on the beauty of you. Focus on the fact that your love's never wasted. Ever. That seed of love and truth and color is going to light whatever was in black and white. The seed of truth given to you or received by someone from you only brings color to life. It only brings vibrancy. Don't underestimate the power of a seed, no matter how long it's been in the fucking dirt dormant. Some seeds will stay dormant for decades and then bloom one day, and it's the most beautiful bloom you've ever fucking seen. You continue to be your best version of you, and simply know that when you give now, in the aid of someone else and their story, it's because they also reflect that back to you. They want to see your best too. They want to promote you and your growth and your path and what you're building and your experience, you know, that makes you feel good. They're going to be supportive. They're going to be supportive of you like you were supportive of others, like you're supportive of them, right? So I hope that helps. That was secret code name Minnie Mouse. That was secret code name Minnie Mouse. I don't know why the code name's significant yet. I know they flashed me Minnie Mouse. I don't know how that's going to be significant for you now or later. But it's going to make sense. They're just telling me it's going to make sense. All right. Next secret code name is the Journey. Getting into it at the 1 hour, 12 minute mark, 34 seconds. The Journey. All right, Spirit. For secret code name, the Journey. And those who would resonate to it in divine time. What has their soul conquered in their karma? Nine of Wands, Four of Wands, Eight of Wands. What has their soul conquered in the karma? What's behind them now as a part of their past? What have they conquered? Okay. This person is getting over an escape route before it has a reason to exist. I think ultimately this person wants the dream come true. They're just very internally conflicted. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands with the Four of Wands and the Eight of Wands, totaling to 21 wands. Spiritual completion, right? This is soul fire, wands energy, spirit energy. There's 21 of them. 9, 4, and 8. This is about ending a cycle where You're the victim who just wants joy, who just wants to communicate love. But you're the victim, right? The 9 of Wands is like spiritual victim mentality. People energetically take from you when all you want is simple joy and stability within yourself, and be able to listen to your guidance and have it validated for you in a positive way. But then being wishy-washy with love, because the Ace of Cups came out sideways. So, feeling like the victim and wanting joy and Cupid's arrow and wanting everything to be perfect like a fairy tale. Like you're just going to find this, perfect prince or perfect princess to be your king or queen, you know what I mean? However it resonates for you. I think that what you want in your mind is good, but the victim mentality keeps you in a wishy-washy kind of indecisive state. And so, when it comes to the Knight of Cups and communicating from an emotional space, we get the Hanged Man with the 5 of Cups, the 6 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. You're all, your perspective is that it will already fail, it will already result in loss, it'll already leave you disappointed, you're already going to have to move forward because you're fucking lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself and thinking that you need an escape plan if someone is not genuine or sincere in spirit. You're playing the victim, and so you end up the victim in every story you tell, right? You can't be the victim anymore. You can't move into a relationship or a dynamic with anybody, romantic or otherwise, to commit to it on a serious level and have an escape route before you even walk in the door kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like if you're dreaming about a 4 of Wands stable relationship, it's like Cupid's arrow and it's super perfect and everything is just perfect and you're looking for that. Well, how the fuck are you going to achieve it if you don't actually believe it exists, that you would have an escape route before it even starts? You can't commit in victim mentality. Why? Because you're afraid of getting hurt. You won't commit. Victim mentality. So you want what you won't let yourself manifest because of indecision surrounding love and not being able to communicate how you feel, or being not necessarily just being honest, but reserving it, right? Even if you were giving a little trickle of truth, there's a whole flood of truth back there and you're just giving little teeny dribbles of it, or implications that it's there, but you're not actually letting yourself feel it, right? You end up robbing yourself of love with the 7 of Swords. You're moving forward and robbing yourself. You don't allow it time. You don't, this cycle of not allowing love time to grow. It's like wanting instant gratification. Yep, the perfect person's here. They just showed up. They're perfect in every way. It doesn't exist. You know that shit don't exist. You're lying to yourself. It's your protection in order to not get close to anybody and stay wishy-washy. Nope, they're not perfect. Nope, they're not perfect. Nope, they're not perfect. No, it wasn't Cupid. No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. Nope. But you're making connections with people that your soul obviously wants to complete cycles with, right? 21 Wands. Ace of Cups. Needing the perspective shift. Needing to get out of the illusion. Because you know what? You ain't going to find perfect, because perfect doesn't exist, not in other people, and most certainly not in you either. You're not perfect. How could you expect perfection from anybody? No one's perfect. Everybody has their shortcomings. Everybody has their flaws. You either can live with them and accept them and find beauty in them or humor in them, or not. You might not be able to tolerate somebody else's shortcomings. They might not be able to tolerate yours, but there's going to be someone that does. So chasing perfection is over, because I think you're tired of running. I think your soul is fucking tired. I think your spirit is fucking tired of running. Yeah, eruption of light. Self-mastery, number 11. So here we go. Let's read. Eruption of light says, your every prayer is a power-packed eruption of light beamed into the divine presence. Some pray with fear or doubt, as though the prayer is not doing much at all. Yet you understand that prayer is powerful, that it is divine action set in motion. Your power of divine prayer emerges from your heart and out through your throat, whether you speak or sing your prayer silently within your own mind or aloud for the whole world to hear. Let your prayers be vocalized as feeling expressed to the divine in words or song if you choose. You have the power to heal at your fingertips and vocal cords. Through your voice, you can heal. Let your hands be joined in prayer position at your heart and your mouth open to let the breath of your spirit move through you and create your soul song. As you speak it, so shall it be. This oracle holds a message for you. Your words have more power than you may realize, and you have a special ability to heal with your words, to bring light where it is needed, and to uplift through simple kindness spoken. You also have a message to bring, and it might be an urge to write or speak on topics that are close to your heart. You may also simply have the need at a soul level to share from the heart with another when you are engaged in soul deep conversation. The oracle says your voice is part of your power. Do use it. Life begins with love to complete itself again. Symmetry is born. You put out a prayer. You put out a prayer for your perfect person to show up. You put out a prayer for your perfect person to show up. And so the divine is completely blowing up the concept that the perfect person can be found. Because the only way to find the perfect person is to let go of the idea of perfection. And so the universe is answering your prayer to find your perfect person by breaking the idea that they have to be perfect. The universe is putting you through that understanding that the perfect person for you in your journey, in your lifetime of joy, right? Where it feels like Cupid struck you. It comes from moving out of this energy and letting perfection go. You probably had parents that put extremely high expectations on you as a child, and your parents probably had really high expectations of each other, where imperfection was frowned upon, where it had to be perfect every day. And I think that's what you've been striving for, something that's perfect because it seemed to be perfect, but you probably didn't see how much pressure your parents were putting on each other behind closed doors when you were a kid. You didn't realize how unnatural the amount of pressure they've put on you to be perfect is, right? And it's allowing yourself to not be perfect, and it's fine being okay with that. So Spirit, please, what other guiding message for my Sacred Rebel Oracle for secret code name The Journey and those who would resonate to it in divine time? Pandora's gift. Sometimes we think we're opening up a can of fucking worms. Like we're opening up Pandora's box, there ain't nothing but fucking hell breaking loose. But the gift of Pandora's box and that the mask comes off. The mask, the facade, the false beliefs come off. Pandora's gift is the rainbow after the storm energy. The reward for moving through and championing the chaos that accrued, right, from resetting. So you set out a prayer to get rid of the ego's belief in needing perfection as a necessity to the denial of the self, right? To the point that you are robbing the self and creating loss and disappointment. Having that escape route, right? I think the universe, if it hasn't already started, then this message is coming to you as divine preparation, like forewarning that, hey, we are answering your prayer. Don't freak out. If a bunch of shit hits the fan, to humble the ego so that you can actually receive the dream that you want, the stability that you want, the perfect partner that you want. Because they allow for you to be imperfect. And they love you anyway. And you're going to be allowing yourself to love someone even with their imperfections because they're still lovable that way. They love you and you love them, flaws and all. It's okay that you're not perfect. Getting away from that. Be prepared, because I'm getting like Archangel Uriel. You're going to have a big spotlight on your demons. If you haven't gone through the dark night of the soul yet, or you haven't hit the peak of it, I think that's what's coming. The peak of the dark night, so that the dawn, right, the eruption of the light over the horizon can reach you. The light beyond the facade. Right? The light on the other side of fear. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. You're overcoming something big. You're going through a huge process. The process is itself temporary. It is not a lifelong process. It is a temporary process. So remind yourself of that when it gets hard, or when it feels ugly, or when you feel like, if you're losing everything in your whole world, and everything is changing and shifting and your world is morphing, right? Whatever it is that the universe is doing, please be aware. If it is beyond your control, it's because the divine knows what it's doing and needs you to trust it. All right, so that was secret code name The Journey. Moving on to the next reading, the last reading. 4-leaf clovers. It's going to be 1 hour, 28 minutes, 22 seconds. And I'm using 2 different decks for this reading. Spirit guided me to my Love Your Inner Goddess Oracle and my Lightworker Oracle. So if you resonated with 4-leaf clover, you will have different guidance cards than all of the other readings, just because that's the way Spirit worked it out. And I listen to my guides. So whatever message is in here specifically for you, we'll find out, right? We'll find out that these messages weren't in the other 2 decks, and Spirit guided me to these 2. So here we go. Getting into it. Secret code name, 4-leaf clovers. If you resonated to this message in divine time, right? If your secret code name, obviously it's yours. And if you just resonated to it in divine time, then it is for you. Okay, there is a message in here for you. So Spirit, for code name 4-leaf clovers, and those who would resonate to this message in divine time, what have they conquered? What soul karma have they conquered? What lessons, what cycles are now over? What have they healed out of? Oh, you are so intuitive. Okay. For some of you, okay. Bottom of the deck is the Six of Wands. Victory is assured. It's a slow process. Okay. Six of Wands on the bottom is just letting me know that the victory is assured. That's the underlying energy, the foundation that Source is moving towards its victory. And we have the Knight of Pentacles on top, so it is a slow process. It's about plugging in, right? It's about plugging into the self. So what you've conquered, I have two different sets of 5 cards. I have the Ace of Cups with the Death card and the High Priestess with the Moon and the Queen of Cups clarifying. This energy, okay, if you resonated to this code name, what you've conquered, we have this overflowing cup of love that needed to transform, and you know it, okay? You know it. We had this overflowing cup of love, and that needed to transform, and you knew it. Because the illusion with the Queen of Cups, the Moon, right? The subconscious with the Queen of Cups. I'm feeling like this High Priestess and the Queen of Cups are the same, but within 2 different people. And one is more advanced in understanding the deep feelings than the other. And I think it's freeing. I think it's freeing up the love. I think in the past there was a lot of love to overflow, a lot of love to give and receive, right? Endless abundance in the emotional realm. And something needed to transform or end, and you knew it because it was stunting it. It was creating an illusion. It was in the way of the love flowing endlessly. There was something blocking it that needed to transform so that the love could flow properly. It's the illusion around the heart, possibly not being able to let go of certain motherly attachments, right? Whether that's a literal mother attachment, whether you are a mother and have attachments to your children, like in this time where they're leaving the nest, you know what I mean? They have to be their own individual selves, and they're not leaning on you like a mommy anymore, like your mom, but you're not mommy, you know, kind of thing. And it's a little sad to go through that transition, right, when you realize your kids are grown. But I'm feeling as if the cycle that's closing, that your heart is roaring out of, is the transformation itself. I think you knew the transformation was coming. I think it was only a matter of time before the illusions of this Queen of Cups energy. Lots of water, right? Ace of Cups, the Moon, the Death card, Scorpio energy, right? The Moon is Piscean energy. High Priestess is Piscean energy. And the Queen of Cups is water energy. So, I mean, this is huge water. Huge water. Major emotion, major intuition, major psychic understanding. I think you might be so in tune that you might even have a hard time discerning your own energy. Like, you're so incredibly empathic that most of the energy you actually feel isn't yours. It's from the people in the environment around you. And I think that might be a part of what was changing. Like, you understand people's love for you and your light, but it's being projected back out empathically as you love them, right? You want to help them. You want to help them transform. You want to overflow for them because they see your light and they want the overflow. They want the overflow, but they don't necessarily want to or know how to flow back in the same way. And I think you're having a difficult time discerning, if it's you that wants their light to show up, or if it's them that's calling your light forward to show up for them. Okay? Think about that. If you're super empathic and you're sticking around, overflowing love from someone to someone, and it's not being fully reciprocated, or someone, gave love to somebody else, like whatever the case is for you, and they didn't, they gave it to somebody else, but they didn't give it to you, like, you already knew. You already knew that all of these energies, right, that would battle with you on a psychic level, on an intuitive level, even in dream state, right, affecting your dreams, either making you feel bad or fear or whatever, force you to long for something that's not in your experience. I'm getting a very specific completely second, like more predictive or insight reading that I'm going to get after this, because I do feel like your heart is roaring forward from a place of very, very deep transformation, in order for, like, the universe is going to overflow to you in such a way. If there's an actual person in the way of you being able to overflow like you're supposed to, if you know that there's a third party that's holding on even though it's dead, I think the universe might literally be taking them out of the equation, physically taking them out of the equation, because they're not allowed to psychically weigh on you. They're not allowed. And so it's almost like your lucky day, right? 4-leaf clover, it's like your lucky day. It's like, as an example, let's just say you were physically or sexually assaulted by someone and you knew it, and no matter what you said or what you did, either no one believed you, there was no justice for it, and you don't know how you're going to live because you still see this person in your town, people still know them, people, some people are calling you a liar and whatever, and you're afraid because maybe this person would do it again, right, or they would do it to somebody else, and it doesn't matter, because they're still alive. Even if you were to move, they're still alive, and the universe just lets you find out they died, like some random shit, and you're like, what? I don't have to live in fear of that person coming after me anymore. I don't have to live in fear that no one believes me and they're going to do it to someone else. Like the universe took them out. Holy shit. Holy shit. It's like that kind of energy. Like the universe is like, listen, whatever your darkness demons are, they're not coming back. Like the universe, if there's a third party, and I say that because we do have the 3 of Cups with the 10 of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles, where there's third parties that completely sabotage your experience and cause you mental anguish, where you feel like you've betrayed yourself or others have betrayed you, like it's a huge thorn in the side, right? A huge tear off track. With the Lovers and the Queen of Swords, this is someone, you could be dealing with a Gemini or an air sign, right? Or the third party could be a Gemini or an air sign, only because there's a lot more air on this side of the reading. With this third party energy, I feel as if, because the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess, I think you're the highest of the high when it comes to where you're set on your path with all these major arcana. I think the third party person is a choice that was made to heal the harsh truth within the self, and ending those cycles where you choose to humor sabotaging external energies, whether it be a person or an experience or even an addiction. Yeah, you're done not seeing the results, and I think the universe is ready to open that wide up. I think you've made the choice to listen to your heart's truth. I think you've made the choice soul deep to start something that has room to grow. And I think you're removing yourself from situations where there's no growth possible. Whether you're intentionally doing it or the divine is doing it for you. Because there's definitely an element of the divine coming in. I'm getting some serious shit with the energy off of this card. This is like Archangel Michael protection. The Death card, I mean, we're talking about a guy in a suit of armor, and he's got this flaming sword, right? This fiery red lit sword, and his third eye's lit, and it's a keyhole. Like, he sees the key, he sees the Death card, right? And I'm getting like, this is spirit. Spirit sees the truth, the key, in protecting your vision and what you're creating in the highest good. And if that means they have to completely sever and cut a cord out of this plane, I think they're doing it. I think they're doing it. Do not be surprised if you resonated to this code reading that someone is either literally or metaphorically fucking dying. No shit. Like, a very toxic energy is either going to be removed or completely transformed to where they are like a new person, right? Where their old version of self is dead and their new version of self is what's being reborn to protect your path in the highest. This is your archangels stepping in order to initiate ascension. And I think you kind of know, to be completely fair. I think you know that the severing of a cord, connection, is in the highest good because it's going to remove the illusion. It's going to remove the veil. It's going to remove the suffering. It's going to remove the regret. It's going to remove the injustices done to your soul, whatever these third parties were that inflicted such pain, that betrayed your highest good path, whatever this third party energy brought in, this abundance of strife and anguish. I'm literally getting this energy of like spirits knocking on your door in your mind. Like, are you listening? Tap, 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 tap. Are you listening? I think you are. I think you already sense things. Don't beat yourself up if you sense the fact that someone might die. Because people do. There are people that are so fucking psychic, especially with all of this water. Look at all this water energy. Major water. Major. I think you know. And just because you know and have thought it, please understand that does not mean you wished it to be. There is a difference between wishing someone death and knowing that they're not gonna die, and wishing someone ill will. And it's something completely different to just feel it and sense it. And if you don't like that person, or you don't like what they brought into your life, or you don't like where it went, or you don't like what opportunity was apparently seized from you from experiencing because this person came in and stole it, right? Or sabotaged it to the point where you feel like it's completely gone. there's a difference between knowing and sensing someone is going to pass and or change and wishing it on someone. So if you're that intuitive, don't blame yourself if someone that is in your life's path actually does end up being removed, because the divine is stepping in the highest good of all involved, them included. Trust me when I tell you, if you are dealing with miserable fucking souls that would come in and ruin happiness and steal someone off their life path, the divine will absolutely step in and rectify that situation, because you're not allowed to tamper with other people's authentic timelines. When people do, there's karmic justice for that. You steal someone's life and you might pay with your life. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just steal someone else's life path. You can't just sabotage the shit, you know what I mean, and leave them with nothing after all the work they've put in. The universe will not allow it. Universe will not allow it. It will choose to bring justice to the truth in the heart every time. Every time. So if there was a malicious or malevolent, vindictive energy from a past life, especially with all this Piscean and Scorpionic energy, that you might have connected with someone like that, especially like a fucking, like you could be dealing with like a hater-ass female. A hater-ass female that got in between you and your favorite person and whatever, and then fucked all that shit up, and now your person realizes the mistake they fucking made, you know what I mean? And they can't get out of the relationship or dynamic. And so the universe is pulling strings, it's calling in favors. The universe is doing what it needs to fucking do for you. Trust and believe that. Because I feel if you've resonated to this code name, some beautiful experience was robbed from you because of a tampering energy, a tampering external energy. It's just not going to hold. Whatever dark, quote unquote, forces that be out there that would sabotage your joy and make you feel you are worth that you deserve the loss, that you deserve the pain, that was unjust. You did not deserve the loss, you did not deserve the pain, you did not deserve to have your authentic path hijacked. And it most definitely was, because I'm getting this energy, it was completely fucking hijacked. And it's going to be returned to you. It's your lucky fucking day. Oh, love and light wins on this one. They're being removed. All right, so now we understand why I have two different decks for these readings, right? So, Love Your Inner Goddess Oracle. If you resonated to this message, 4-leaf clovers, secret codename, and divine time. What does Spirit need you to know? What does it need you to receive right now? Coming out of this energy, right, with your soul roaring forward in the manifestation. You know, like your soul is roaring about what it deserves, roaring that it knows it was unjust. And so the universe is roaring to manifest the solution, right? So what do you need to keep in mind from your inner goddess, right? Your inner feminine energy. Yeah, princess savior. This princess saves herself. Your vibe says everything. Your faith says everything. Card number 12. It says, if you feel uncertain about facing a challenge, believe in yourself. You are strong enough to conquer this. There will be help if you need it, but you already have the inner resources within required to overcome any obstacle and attain the most blessed outcome. You never gave up. You never gave up faith, right? Even if you had to save yourself and cut yourself out of a situation and completely let it go and transform, and you knew you had to step away, even if it killed you, even though you knew it was temporary, even if it seemed permanent, you felt like that was an unfinished symphony. It didn't close. The story wasn't over, right? The fat lady didn't sing yet. It's not over. It might look over and it might feel over, but you know damn right well it ain't over, right? Yeah, there's help if you need it, but you already have the inner resources required to overcome any obstacle and attain the most blessed outcome. If you are in the process of letting go of someone or something, perhaps an old habit, an old way of life, a relationship or situation in which you have felt trapped, Don't allow insecurity or uncertainty to stop you. Trust yourself. You've got this, and you are doing the right thing, moving on. It's almost like letting the third party come in, doing whatever the fuck it did to fuck it up, and realizing at the end of the day, it only brought the two of you closer, right? That the intention of the malignant energy was to separate you or steal from you, but in the end, it's almost like it backfired on it, and it's making you stronger. Like you saved yourself and got yourself out of that energy, and therefore it allowed that energy time with the divine to bake in the oven, right? To bake in the oven, putting them in the divine's oven. So it says, when you realize that you are strong enough to save yourself, which you are, you never have to be afraid again. As well as inner strength, you have inner wisdom. Deep within, you just know when something or someone is or is not worthy of your time, energy, and attention. Even if that person themselves is worthy, if they're attached to unworthy energies that are reflecting back at you or projecting at you, you don't deserve that, right? So it goes, the same applies. Deep within, you just know when something or someone is not worthy of your time, energy, and attention, and the most precious treasure that you will ever have is the divine gift of yourself. There is nothing that is more valuable and no one that is worth losing yourself over. You don't need permission from anyone other than yourself to decide to walk away from what isn't right for you in that time, or to stand your ground and honor your values, or to say no and refuse to give in to the social pressures that would have you do otherwise. You can be open to help and grateful for the assistance, but you also know that whenever you need it, you have the power to learn, to act, to figure out, and to find the love within that will empower you for the life that you deserve. The only way a third party can come in and manipulate your path permanently is if you give them the power to do that. And when you do that, it's because you don't step away, right? You continuously stay and feed the malignant energy like a cancer in whatever it was that you were creating. You're feeding it attention. But when you detach, remove yourself, and choose not to humor the fucking cancer, the cancer's over there, it's not affecting you. The toxic energy is over there, it's not affecting you. And the person that it is affecting, they're gonna get sick of that toxicity and they will shove it the fuck out. They will know it's not acceptable. And they will shove it the fuck out. And when they do, the wounding that whatever that malicious energy was, that toxic energy was, is only going to return whoever they just completely fucked back with a sense of appreciation and gratitude for what had to go, right? For the fact that you had to go and you couldn't be a part of that. They'll respect it and they understand it. And they'll be like, wow, I should have listened to you, or wow, I should have appreciated you more, or wow, I should have this or that. You know what I mean? I should have whatever. Let me make it up to you any way I can. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. So whenever you're called to save yourself because someone else's energy is toxic, whether it's because they themselves are toxic or they're being manipulated or interfered with by toxic energies outside of themselves, it is just your job to separate for the time being. You will know when or if you are meant to go back into an experience with those people, and that if you are meant to be with them, that it is always in divine time. Allow it to happen and don't worry, because the universe works in the realm of miracles. It works in the realm of miracles. It will do what is ever necessary to get you back in alignment with the highest for what is intended for you, right? Even if that means complete transformation and cord cuts. All right, so last card for 4-leaf clover. What is the final guidance, Spirit, please? For secret codename 4-leaf clovers and those who would resonate to it in divine time. The 6th ray of devotion. Card number 43. Fucking love it. Here we go. Listen to this. This is what you need to know, right? Coming out of all that fucking energy, listen. The sixth ray of devotion bestows the qualities of persistence, unwavering focus, and intensity of feeling. It is a gift of the strength to move mountains with your will for what you love. When the sixth ray of devotion appears, you are being given guidance that even if you do not seem to have much worldly power right now, the power of your beliefs can conquer obstacles. The Archangel Uriel helps you receive the blessing of the sixth ray now. Receiving the blessing of the sixth ray of devotion is serving your soul growth and will help you develop faith in your principles and trust in the power of your beliefs wholeheartedly. Trusting your emotions, your heart resonation, and your intuition wholeheartedly, right? You will be able to recognize and appreciate the extraordinary strength within you and realize that you have enough willpower to keep working towards your dream and overcoming any obstacle until you are divinely successful. There is no toxic motherfucker going to interfere with your path. None. Your soul's will is so strong, your inner knowing, your resonation, and your truth, what you feel, despite if the outer looks fucking nuts because you've got a malicious energy clouding it with a veil of illusion, trying to put you in a fear state, put you in despair, put you in loss, put you in turmoil, put you in a self-sabotaging energy where you feel like death, that you lost your entire world. Universe is like, no. You know in your will and your heart what you deserve to have and who is meant for you and what the fucking deal is. You know. And your unwavering faith in that you know that despite, no matter how shitty it's gotten, that you've never lost faith. The universe is like, we are going to shine huge light on this area, right, this situation for you. The sixth ray reminds you of the power of love, which can conquer anything and everything. Love wins. Love is an empowering, motivating force, far stronger than fear. Love is the foundation of authentic spiritual devotion. Devotion to the divine empowers us to bear burdens, overcome obstacles, and manifest all manner of beautiful visions in a world that may at first assure us that our dream is not possible. The sixth ray blesses you with a spiritual stubbornness and sacred rebellion against all odds. No dream is impossible. The challenge with the sixth ray is to not become so anchored in your beliefs that you become fanatical and judging others because they don't believe the way you do. But you can be unwavering in your adherence to your own belief system and honor the fact that there are as many paths to divine union as there are people, and that the ways the universe calls you home to love are unlimited. If you do not honor this, you may try to pull people from their own path, which can create unnecessary struggle for them and unnecessary karma for you. It's like knowing you know who your twin flame is. Knowing you know who your perfect counterpart is, and you've had a karmic partner come in and try and damage your connection with your flame, and you never give up, and you're not pulling in your own karmic relationship because you fucking know better. You know they're not your one, and it's only gonna hurt, right? So you're mastering this. You know there's all kinds of paths. If you do not honor this, you may try and pull people from their own path. You may become the very energy that got and interfered with you in your path. Because if someone's interfering with you and you're trying to reconnect to a new path, then technically you're trying to take someone else's authentic path from them. Because you don't have your own and you lost faith that it's your own. You're trying to find it somewhere else. Spirit's like, no, you're not that person. You have unwavering faith. You know that just because it looks crazy doesn't mean shit. Universe works in the realm of miracles. The best way to honor the blessing and minimize the challenge of this ray is to share your truth with an open heart and an open mind and without agenda. For those working with this energy, the power of mind and emotions will come into focus. Love for the sake of being, loving to all beings with no expectation of any exchange in return from specific people. The universe will return all to you. You may need to channel your emotional and mental power into worthy projects or practice balancing your intensity with lightness of heart and playfulness so that you don't become harsh or despairing if things don't appear to be working out or the way you believe they should. Your faith can remind you that love always finds a way. Love always finds a way. Unwavering faith, the universe will conspire in your favor in the most effective and efficient way possible to bring your beliefs to realization, because believing is seeing. When Archangel Uriel connects with you, a tremendous power, the power of earth, is brought to your aid. Uriel brings healing energy and an ability to cause real effect in the physical world with your mental and emotional power. Remember, you are here to shine your light. Others can choose to use your light to see by until they are ready to discover their own light, or not. It is not anything you need to worry about. Simply shine and live your truth, trust in your heartfelt beliefs, and devote yourself to love. Finally, the sixth ray has a special connection to religion and love, and you are asked to hold the healing power of love in your heart for all those who are evolving through a life experience involving religious practice. This can help counterbalance the judgment and fear that exists in the hearts of many towards religion that are not of their own, or that they have been the vehicle through which abuse of has been taken. Religion on this planet at this time needs love, support, and encouragement to evolve out of the archaic state that it's in, heal and grow in whatever ultimately serves divine love in the highest for all. When we talk about religion, it's just old spiritual paradigms, old spiritual beliefs, different relationship dynamics, love, marriage, third parties, adultery, cheating, babies out of wedlock, like you name it. Right? There's all kinds of stuff that we think, well, we can't move forward with a certain person, or we're tainted, or we're going to hell, and we start to panic and all that crap. And it's like, listen, the truth is the truth. You're going through an insane journey where you were literally hijacked by dark forces. If you're catching this message, you had major interference, probably had a spiritual background where you know better than anybody else that no religion is going to tell you whether or not you're saved. None. This is not about the relationship between you and some God that's out there. This is your relationship between you and the God force that's in you that believes in unwavering faith and love. Christ consciousness, unconditional love, love without condition, love beyond time, space, reality, love that goes beyond this lifetime. It's soul deep and beyond. It's soul deep and beyond. Something interfered, and that's reconciling. Continue to shine your beautiful light and faith and trust the universe will never let you down. You'll never lose. You'll never lose. Not in your light. Not when you know how to save yourself. Not when you know the truth. You're not going to put yourself through unnecessary suffering being apart from someone while they're going through a very rough cycle. You're not going to hurt anybody else. Unwavering faith. This too shall pass, no matter how hard it looks. And it most absolutely will. I guarantee you that. The universe works in the realm of miracles. So with that said, guys, that is the end of part 2. Part 1 is still loading, and part 2 will probably be loading for a while. So just know that as soon as these are done loading in the next 14 to 20 some odd hours, right, with YouTube and the way it's been processing things lately, it will be up so you can watch the replay, and I will have all of the timestamps in parts 1 and 2 in the description, so you can go back and fast forward, you know, to whatever message that resonates to you at this time, or a different message a later time, right? My messengers are always in divine time here for you. If you want more from me, all my information is in the description. I do post on Facebook regularly, and there's some awesome things on there that come from the memories that I share previously before my YouTube even started, right? I did a lot of lives on Facebook, and a lot of those messages were in divine time and really resonating with people right now. So if you're inclined and you're not following me on Facebook at Divine Rebel Readings yet, definitely check it out to get, you know, daily energy stuff. And of course I put, you know, community tab on Divine Rebel, all of the cosmic currencies, the daily cosmic currencies, and what the hell is going on in the cosmos energetically that we're all picking up on and feeling and healing through. So until next time, guys, Divine Rebel Racey signing off, like 5 o'clock in the morning. Divine Rebel Racey signing off. Until next time, guys, love each other. And most importantly, love yourselves. Bye, everybody.